Some people will make you wait till the end of the video to sort of reveal this type of thing, but I won't. The amount I made from my first theater show is... Hello Earthlings and welcome to another video. My name is Sylar and I'm a professional magician. What I aim to do with this channel is to show you muggles a lot of magic because I know you love it and I love performing it, and hopefully teach amateur and hobbyist magicians how to make more money from their business. So if any of that is of interest to you, please subscribe now. So in today's video, obviously I will reveal to you the amount of money I made from my first ever theater show, but what I mainly want to do is kind of take you through my journey into organizing this show, because at that point I had no knowledge of anything. I just wanted to do a theater show, and all my knowledge that I had at that point was about close-up magic. I didn't know anything about stage, how to organize it, how to perform it, any of that. So I'm not gonna teach you anything in this particular video because I will have a video about how to organize a theater show, but I will take you through what I did, and hopefully you'll be able to learn from my mistakes, and I'll give you some tips of stuff you need to learn before watching my future video or before even thinking about organizing a theater show. So let's get into that now. Okay, so I don't want to have you wait till the end of this video for the reveal. So I found the actual check from my first payment from a theater show. Hopefully you can see it now while I'm talking to you, and you can see the sum there. It's just over £1,200, and I know that might sound pretty decent for a first theater show 8 years ago, but I actually put in way more money into this show than that. Because the way theater shows and stage shows in general work is you will make profit if you do a tour. So yeah, that's what I made. I know it wasn't profit, but that's why I have the photo still, because it was such an awesome moment in my career. It was a check for a theater show I performed for over 200 people. It was insane at that point. It was, I think, in 2012, so that would be about 8 years ago, right? Where it's been 8 years and I still feel like I have so much more to learn. But now if I were to organize that show, it would be way better. I mean, I have organized more theater shows after that, and they are way better. Outside of the two posters, I've used this poster. Hopefully you can see this now. And I've had an alternative poster, which was this. I thought it was a bit too intense for what I wanted to do, so I didn't go with it. And I also have a clip. The audio is absolutely terrible, so I'm not gonna put you through that, but I'm gonna put a bit in the background just while I talk to you about other stuff, just to kind of see how I acted on stage then, which was 8 years ago, and hopefully you'll be able to see something from our future shows and you'll see the actual difference. Okay, so let's go through my sort of workflow of what that was at that point. Keep in mind this has been 8 years ago, so I don't really remember everything as it were, but I remember the main bits because they stuck with me because I learned from them. So obviously that's always in your head and you're always thinking about it while you're organizing the next show. The first thing you really have to think about is that you're the organizer of this event and you're the main performer of this event. So it's a lot of work doing both of those things, and you have to sort of separate them, otherwise you might go a bit crazy because you're working on a trick or something else that you're doing, and then you have to jump to selling tickets and you have to jump to something else, and it's very confusing. So I would suggest, if you do have a sort of diary or notes or anything you're doing to work on the show, is have two separate things, one about the show, you the performer, and one about the business, the show, how to sell the tickets, pay the venue, all of that stuff. The first thing I would say is find an awesome venue. If you live somewhere like in London, you have a lot of theaters to pick from. At that point I lived in Aylesbury. I only had one theater to go to, and it was fantastic. It was really great because it was a new built theater, so it was all beautiful and expensive. So that was sort of the problem. Because it was new, it was very expensive. When I did a mini tour a couple of years back, I took other theaters on as well, and some of them were ridiculously cheap and my profit was way bigger because they wouldn't charge crazy amounts for stuff. I had one theater, so this is one thing that you should sort of look for, is make sure you know what you're getting into before you're getting into it, otherwise you might be cheated by stuff. One of the venues I decided not to work with because they had this weird contract where I had to pay the room, right? And I had to pay for their bar staff. So I would pay for their bartenders to sell their own alcohol so they can make money. Like, for me, it made no sense. So I'm paying, I'm bringing my own people to watch this show. You're getting commission from the tickets, you're getting payment from me for the room, and I'm paying for your bar. It made no sense to me. So, you know, if I had less experience, probably I would have gone for it. And I probably did say yes to things I wouldn't say yes to today. So I would say, before just jumping into it, even if you have one venue, maybe email other venues throughout the country and see what they offer, and then compare, because then you have a sort of advantage over that one venue that's trying to mess with you. But that's just one. Most venues that I've worked with are amazing. The people there are amazing, because generally people that work in those types of environments, they love theater and they love shows. So they'll do whatever they can to help you out if it's possible. The other thing you really need to learn is, this is a thing I didn't even think about until I was actually on stage. It felt good, but once I saw footage, I just realized that I have no stage presence. I don't really know how to talk to an audience. I would just talk to one person because I was so used to close-up magic. I just speak to one person and kind of ignore everybody else, which is weird because they're my main audience. So definitely study what a stage presence is, how you should move on stage, how you shouldn't move on stage, how you should act on stage. Everything. Like, I'm not even talking about magic. I'm talking about stand-up comedy, bands, acting. Just study other art forms that are on stage for you to learn what you need to do on stage. Because most of the times you'll just be taught the trick and how to perform it on stage. But there's certain rules on stage that you can't really cross. So the more you learn about stagecraft, the easier it will be for you to organize your show and perform your show. So I would say look into your stage presence and look into lighting a lot, because that could be bad, because there's going to be a person that's going to be there throughout the show. So he's either going to follow you with the light, he's going to have certain cues that you will give him. If you haven't even thought of this, that person will do nothing and just have a spotlight on you, and it will be quite boring. So these will all come from studying theater work in general. So I know probably you can't do that now, but once everything's slightly better, if you haven't done this yet, just go to a few random theater plays and you'll learn so much more about stagecraft than I could teach you. So the reason I haven't spoken about the magic yet is because I don't really like to talk about that on this channel. So I hope that if you do want to do a stage show, you already have your show ready, you're happy with it, everything's going great. So the other thing will be music, obviously. So at the beginning, I didn't really think that music would enhance my performance. I mean, I thought it would, but I thought it would more be a distraction. And I was kind of right and wrong at the same time, because even now I don't use music for all of my stage pieces, but sometimes I do because it enhances it. So you have to think about your actual magic show. So look at the pieces you have in your show and think if music would enhance it or distract from it. And then decide if you want to do it. Like, a lot of stage performers have background music for every trick, and that's absolutely fine. This is just my opinion, and you know, we're here to talk about how I organize this show, so that's what I'm gonna do. The last sort of thing I want to talk about is the selling of tickets. Obviously, I've done the how to do Zoom shows, and that talks about some of that, but the main thing is it depends on the theater. Some theaters will sell the tickets for you and they'll take a commission. Other theaters will give you the option to sell them yourself, so you can use Eventbrite like I did with the Zoom shows and with my other shows. It kind of depends at this point. I would suggest, if the venue is very good and has a massive audience, like a massive newsletter and stuff, I would suggest just letting the venue do it, because if it comes from them, it will be more enticing for people to buy rather than if it comes from you, because they don't know you. Obviously, if they have a relationship with the venue and you come as a recommendation from the venue, the chances are way higher that they will actually book the ticket to see you, because as I said, they trust the venue already, so that's just gonna work for them. So the main reason I wanted to do this video is obviously because there's this sort of misconception that theater shows make so much more money than close-up magic. And in a sense, yes, it is true, because if you do 10 theater shows in a row, you'd make way more money than you would make from 10 close-up events. I mean, me personally anyway, I don't know how much you charge. But the problem is, it's way harder to, like, if I have 10 weddings, that's because 10 couples are getting married and they saw me and they hired me. So it wasn't a lot of effort from my side, but to organize 10 different dates and talk to 10 different venues and pay all of those and organize a poster and print it and send it to all of the venues and make sure the ticket prices are right. Make sure you talk to all the lighting people and the sound people and make sure they all have everything they need. It's an insane amount of work, and you also need an actual team to achieve all of this. So yes, in a sense it's true, but I feel if you want to become a close-up magician, your chances are higher of getting money quicker than if you start doing a stage show, because a close-up magician will be, you want to hire me for your event, so I'm done. But if it's a theater show, you have to come to my event, so I have to convince 100 people every time to come to my event. So obviously it's way harder. I ideally would love to do maybe the Fringe Festival next year to kind of get a bit more brand awareness of what I do and stuff. But I would ideally love to do a larger tour, but I think that's very, very hard to do unless, you had like a 1-season TV show, or you do like really well on Britain's Got Talent or something like that. Obviously you can build up to that, and I'm just being slightly lazy at this point. I have been doing a monthly show for the last 2 years, and the momentum was there, but now everything's gone, so I'm not sure if to keep doing that once everything's back, or kind of take a break and just focus on the Fringe Festival for next year. So I don't know, I haven't decided yet. Maybe come back later for future videos to see what I decide. So this was the video. Thank you so much for watching. I am gonna do the video where I teach you everything I know about organizing a stage/theater show. So if you have any questions about that, please leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving it a like. Subscribe if you haven't. I know that a lot of you watching this aren't subscribed, because YouTube gives me those analytics and I can find out. So it'd be great to have you on the channel, because, then we can grow together and stuff. I teach you stuff and you learn, and then you subscribe and I have subscribers. That's how it works, right? Anyway, if you want to talk to me some more, follow me on my Instagram. It's at Sylar Magic here. And this is sort of new, but I launched my Patreon recently, and I already have 6, 7, maybe 8 people. I don't know. They're gonna appear. Their names are gonna appear on the screen right now. Thank you very much, Patreons, for helping out. And if you wanna consider helping out, the Patreon link is in the description. The minimum is £3, and you get access to like early videos, early tickets to shows, and you get one video for free that won't be on this channel every month. So if you want, do that, or not, do whatever you want. I'm not your dad, I can't tell you what to do. Have an awesome rest of the week, Earthlings. I'll see you later. Bye.